You have to introduce me.
Today I have my daughter Skylar, who's going to talk about the book.
Thank you, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna be reviewing the book When the Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson and Omar Mohammed.
All right, so let's first start by just flip through, like, quickly so people can see what type of a book it is on the inside. 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest, rate the book.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8, okay.
A 7 or an 8. It's not necessarily like a book that I would like pick out at the library and read. My mom asked me to read it, so I was like, okay, I'll read it, and I, gave it a shot. It was pretty good. All the graphics are really nice and stuff, and the story was really good too. So yeah.
And what about the colors and the layout? I mean,
I like the front cover because like with the sky and everything, but like, yeah, it was a pretty good book. I mean the color scheme.
That's all right. Okay, let's dive into just the theme of the story, what it's all about, and how it grasps your attention. So let's start with, what is the story all about? Set it up for me, starting from the beginning.
It's about a refugee named Omar, and he has a brother named Hassan who cannot speak, and his brother has had seizures and stuff. They live like in separate tents, but like next to each other.
And who's Fatuma?
The guardian over them, because they lost their mom and their dad in the Somalian war.
Okay.
Although the mom comes back in the end of the book.
Okay, so name the 4 main characters.
Omar, Hassan, Jerry, and Fatuma.
And Jerry is who?
Omar's best friend.
And Fatuma is who?
Yeah, Omar and Hassan's legal guardian.
They're at a refugee camp.
Yes.
And what do they do there? Do they play? Do they go to some sort of school?
Omar he's not in school because he's taking care of Hassan, but then I need to look up what this guy's name is.
While she's looking that name up, I'd like to thank Timberdoodle for sending this book for us to review. You can find the link to this book in the description below, and if you're enjoying what you see, please give it a thumbs up. Let's continue on.
Salon.
Okay.
So this guy Salon comes into the picture, and he's talking to Omar, and he's like, oh, you should go to school and stuff, and he gave him like a pencil and a notebook, and he ended up going to school for like all the way until he got to high school. And not a lot of refugees got to go to school because it was like expensive and stuff, and Omar got the privilege of going all the way through high school because he excelled in school and stuff. So
let's jump over to distribution days, empty days. Tell us what that means in the book.
Oh, so they got food every day not every day, every 15 days they got food from the UN, and they would go and they would travel a little ways and stand in this really long line, and then they would go get food, which lasted them only 10 days, even though it was every 15 days they got food, so they were kind of starving for the last 5 days. Sometimes they would wash their clothes like every month or something, and whoever could go to school, they went to school, and then they usually only ate breakfast and like dinner, and then they would go to sleep and repeat like the same thing. And if the children who didn't go to school, they would just kind of like hang around or play. I forgot what the game was they played in the book, but they would play like games with some of the other people who couldn't go to school.
Is there anything that they celebrate in this story?
Yes, they celebrate Ramadan, which is their holy month, and they like fast. And at the end of the month, they have like a special kind of like food or drink that they eat. And so Omar, Jerry, and Hassan, they all bought this whole big tub of orange mixed drink, and they were like selling it to get money for their families and stuff. So yeah. And then at the end of it, there would like the big Eid prayer.
Where?
They would all gather and like pray together.
In this refugee camp with Omar and Hassan's story, how does everything end?
Hassan and Omar, they ended up going to America and they went to Arizona, and Omar got a job and some doctors were able to give Hassan treatment for his seizures. And then later on, Omar and Hassan were able to go back to Somalia, and they actually found their mom that they lost in the Somalian war. And so they found her. And here's a couple photos. Here's Fatuma and Hassan and Omar. Here's, Omar, he graduated at the University of Arizona. Here's the trip back. Oh, they were in Dabad. Omar, Hassan, and their mother, and two of Omar's children. See, he did get married.
What is the message of this story?
To not give up hope. Because when they were first starting out in the book and stuff, they were like, oh, I'm never gonna see my mom again. And they were always gonna be here, and like, when was it my chance to go to America and all of this other stuff. And they ended up going to America, finding their mom again, and having a good life.
Do you enjoy graphic novels, or do you prefer reading regular texts?
It depends on the book. This one was pretty good though. I haven't read a lot of graphic novels in my days.
Did the graphics help the story flow smoothly for you and give you, make it more real?
They did, yeah, because you could see exactly what was actually happening and how things like were gonna look there, instead of just using your imagination, which is not a bad thing, but like you could actually see. I actually wrote about this book because it was one of the things I read this summer, so I actually wrote about this. Bye.
All right, so if you have any questions for Skylar, please post them below.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time in the next video.
Yeah, come back, we're gonna review a game.